Ladies and gentlemen, today we are at a place called Farukhnagar, which is a small town, a tehsil and a municipality in the Gurgaon district of the Indian state of Haryana. It is located around 21 kilometers from the Gurgaon city. Now this is a town which is having historical roots. In fact, it was established in 1732 by a Baluch called Faujdar Khan. Now, Faujdar Khan was the first Nawab of Farukhnagar, and he was a governor of the Mughal Emperor Farukhnagar. And perhaps that's why the name Farukhnagar. Now, Farukhnagar, of course, was a Mughal emperor from 1713 to 1719, and he was followed by the other Mughal emperor, Muhammad Shah Rangila, who reigned from 1719 till 1748. And Faujdar Khan was also a governor of the Mughal emperor Muhammad Shah Rangila. Now in 1733, Faujdar Khan built this fort, which you see in the background, and it was called the Farukhnagar Fort. It was surrounding the octagonal town of Farukhnagar, and it had 5 different gates. Some of the famous gates were the Delhi Darwaza, the Patli Darwaza, and the Jhajjar Darwaza. It'll be interesting to know that Farukhnagar shares its border with the Jhajjar district in Haryana as well. So now the fort, of course, is in ruins, and some attempts were made to renovate it and protect it by the Archaeological Survey of India and the INTSEH, or the Indian National Trust for Arts and Cultural Heritage. But clearly it's in shambles out here, but you can still come over here, visit it, and transport yourself back to the era of the Mughal emperors and the Nawabs of Farukhnagar. So welcome once again to the Farukhnagar Fort. So at the Farukhnagar Fort complex, the Government of India has installed this memorial out here, which is dedicated to the martyrs of Haryana who participated in the rebellion of 1857 against the British. So there's an interesting story behind it. I was telling you about Faujdar Khan, who was the first Nawab of Farukhnagar, who constructed this Farukhnagar fort and established the town of Farukhnagar itself. Now, subsequently, this area was ruled by a series of Nawabs, and after the British annexation of India, the principality of this area remained primarily with the Nawabs. However, in the 1857 rebellion, Nawab Ahmad Ali Khan of Farukhnagar, along with the Nawab of Jhajjar and the kings of Ballabgarh as well as Rewari, and the chieftains of Sirsa and Hisar together formed a coalition and participated in the rebellion of 1857 against the British. And in fact, at one point of time, they controlled the town of Rohtak completely for a brief amount of time. However, as we know, the rebellion was crushed by the British, and subsequent to the rebellion, the Nawab Ahmad Ali Khan of Farukhnagar was executed, hanged in Delhi on the 23rd of January 1858. As a matter of fact, a lot of chieftains and the kings, their jagirs were confiscated, and around 368 people from Haryana were either executed or hanged, or they were exiled to Lahore, or they were imposed with heavy monetary fines. So a lot of sacrifices were conducted by the people of Haryana during the rebellion of 1857, and to commemorate those sacrifices and pay condolences to those sacrifices and remember those sacrifices by the people of Haryana, a memorial was dedicated for the struggle for independence of the 1857 by the Government of India. Looks very beautiful and solemn out here, and it's a big reminder to those people who say that the only culture in Haryana is agriculture. But this Farukhnagar Fort and its legacy, along with the Sheesh Mahal, which we'll presently see, is a big reminder to those folks that Haryana not only added to the rich heritage and the culture, but also added to the valor in the freedom struggle of 1857, and of course, fills up the granaries of India. Proud of you, Haryana. So what we are now witnessing is the beautiful Sheesh Mahal, which was constructed by Faujdar Khan in 1733, presumably after he built the Farukhnagar Fort. It's in the same complex, and this was a residential palace of Faujdar Khan, who was a Nawab of Farukhnagar, and of course the subsequent Nawabs as well. It's a beautiful 2-storied building and has a baradari, which is a pavilion with 12 entrances. And the reason why it's called Sheesh Mahal is because It has some beautiful inlays of glassworks which no longer exist, but used to exist when it was first built along the ceilings and the back wall. And apparently it used to shine with the glow of the lamps which are lit up inside. So it's a beautiful piece of architecture from the era of 1733 of the Nawabs of Farukhnagar. This, of course, is located in the entire fort complex of the Farukhnagar fort. There's a beautiful water channel which was present over here, and actually present over here, but there's no water now. And this apparently was to cool down the walls of the Sheesh Mahal during the brutal summers of Farukhnagar. So wonderful piece of architecture which is a mixture of Rajasthani as well as the Mughal architecture. Once again, this is the lovely Sheesh Mahal at the Farukhnagar fort complex in Haryana. Now we are at the bastion of the Farukhnagar fort, and as you can hear perhaps that my voice is echoing over here. A lot of people say that this fort is haunted, but those are just rumors. But what is a fact is that there used to be a tunnel out here which used to lead to the Gol Baudi or the Ghaus Ali Khan Baudi. And apparently the queen who used to live over here in the Farukhnagar fort and the Sheesh Mahal which we just saw used to go via that tunnel to that Baudi to take a bath. Of course, there are 4,000 people who lived in this fort complex out here at one point of time. Now, of course, it is all in shambles. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a place in Farukhnagar called the Ghaus Ali Khan Baudi, or the Ghaus Ali Baudi, or the Gol Baudi as it is known locally over here. Apparently, this was constructed by a chieftain of Farukhnagar called Ghaus Ali Khan, who was one of the governors of the Mughal emperors. Perhaps not the governor, but just a chieftain. And he is attributed to having built this stepwell out here called the Ghaus Ali Baudi. Right now it is closed. It's a monument protected by the Archaeological Survey of India. But what we'll do is we'll try to send a drone on top of the Baudi and see how it looks like. So the locks have been opened up of the Baudi for us. I need to climb these steps downstairs. Looks like almost a dungeon. And then we enter this Baudi, and scary entrance out here. I have to duck because ceilings are not very high. But here is that magnificent look at the Baudi from inside. Looks fabulous. It's a 3-storied Baudi, and there are steps over here using which you can enter into this place. And there's a well in the center, which was the source of water, and it's in octagonal shape and is a mixture of the Mughal and the Rajasthani architecture. Some people also say that it borrows its architecture as a Turkish hammam, or a bathing house for the royal kings and the queens. Of course, legend has it that the queen of Farukhnagar used to come over here via a secret tunnel to take a bath out here. And that secret tunnel is around 1 kilometer long, and terminates between this area and the Farukhnagar fort, which we just saw. Yeah, it's terribly hot. John, bhook lag rahi hai kya?
Yes, खाना खाते हैं.
Chalo, okay, there's Radhe Sweets out here. Let's enjoy some goodies out here. Radhe Sweets at Farukhnagar, no less. There we come. On a hot summer afternoon when you're hungry, if you look at this, you just salivate like crazy. And looking at this lassi, I can just say I can resist anything but temptation. John, lassi. आतंकवादी लग रही हो. Lassi at Radhe Sweets Farukhnagar. मीठे बनी की नहीं. So overall, a nice little trip to this place called Farukhnagar in the Gurgaon district of Haryana, 21 kilometers away from Gurgaon. I got to know a lot of history about Farukhnagar and the Nawabs out here and the way they participated in the 1857 rebellion of independence against the British. And that was quite a revelation for me. I never knew that so many people from Haryana sacrificed their lives in the rebellion of 1857. The Ghaus Ali Bawdi or the Gol Bawdi was magnificent. If you come over here, I would recommend that there's a nice little parking place near Sheesh Mahal out here. Park your car out here and then go towards the Bawdi because the bylanes are very narrow and you can easily get your car stuck. You still have to navigate your car to come to the Sheesh Mahal. But that's much more tolerable and eventually you can come over here in the parking. So thank you Farukhnagar for a chapter in history and see you around.